when I say second job to third job, I don't mean I worked my second job that day. Like that was my day for my second job. No, when I worked, I went to job A, then I left, slept for an hour, went to job B, left, slept for 2 hours, went to job C. I worked three or more jobs in a single day, and I saw this memory, and it was me living in that self-proclaimed, hustle mentality and being proud of myself. Yes, I left job number two on my way to job number three, and there were some days where I would work 40 hours straight,
Yeah.
and I thought it was the right thing to do. Work harder, be more successful. Work more hours, be more successful, right? And I worked more hours in a day than there's even in a day. And the beautiful thing about creating community is you're creating your own tribe of raving fans that will support you. They will support your mission. They will pay you money, and they will hug you. I've literally had prospects turn into clients on sales calls, pay me $10,000, $20,000, and cry tears of joy,
Mhm.
of happiness, and literally hugging me through the screen because they're so happy in what I can help them achieve in their business and in their life. And I've created that connection
Mhm.
through. And these people, like, they're living on social security, some of them. And I was able to fly them up here, take care of their hotel stay, and bring them to this dinner that we just had recently. And I'm only able to do that once, overcoming my limiting beliefs around money, around what's possible, betting on myself to be the best damn entrepreneur that I can be. And it's allowing me to bring money in that I'm able to give and help other people. And that's the best. It's the absolute best place to be.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Brainwash to Be Broke series. Today's guest went from club promoter to movement builder, and now he helps entrepreneurs scale their impact through the power of community and systems. He's the creator of the Evolve Omega ecosystem, a best-selling author in 10 Amazon categories, and the strategies behind some of the most advanced chatbot systems running in seven-figure businesses today. With over 100,000 members in his network, he's teaching entrepreneurs how to scale with AI, omnichannel marketing, and legacy-driven leadership. Without further ado, welcome to the show, Danno Hanfling. Hopefully, I pronounced it correct way.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
Awesome.
So good to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. It is my honor to have you here. Super pumped for this conversation. And I'm always prepared for everything what is coming. So I have a bunch of questions here.
Bring them
But
on. Let's go.
before we go into them, I would love to, and all the listeners would love to hear your story. How did you get into entrepreneurship, and when was the moment for you that made you realize that the corporate path is not actually the way that you want to go?
Oh man. So, everybody talks about, adversity and struggles and everything. Um, my story is not without that, but it's probably a little different, a little unconventional than most people who come into this entrepreneurial space. So, me, man, I come from that club promoter, nightlife partier like background. I'm from Seattle, Washington, and I used to be a street promoter. So for any of you guys who are watching and like you would ever go to events, nightclub events, people got to put on those events, right? Well, I was the guy who would promote those events long before Facebook was even a thing. When we didn't have a select all, we could invite 1,000 people to an event at one single time. We had to, strap up our Lamborghinis and head out to coffee shops and tattoo shops and salons and poster everything on walls and light posts and hand out cards and flyers. That's where I started. And I did that for about, man, 6 years, moving my way up from street promoter to team leader to manager, all the way up to marketing director of the $1 million company that threw on, events that would host, 500 people for the club nights, 1,000 people for the monthlies. We even had an annual event called Paradiso that we would plan a 3-day event. We had 27,000 people each year, and we would sell out year after year after year. And that's where I learned long before digital marketing. That's where I learned how to bring people together
Mm,
and and the ability and really the power of community and how
mhm,
you can leverage what you have in front of you and the audiences of your audiences. Again, way before I knew anything about digital marketing, way before I even looked into ads, I was doing this like in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was crazy cool to see, not just people coming together, not just the sales, but the impact to be had. And like I said, I moved my way all the way up to marketing director, and uh and that's kind of where things fell apart, you know. Anybody who's listening and moved their way up in the corporate ladder, you know, as the higher you go, you start learning, oh, there's politics, oh, there's a whole nother life to it. Well, I saw the dark side of what it was really like to work inside corporate. And it was then that I think I worked with them for about 3 4 months, and then we split parts, we split ways, uh, and I never looked back, right? And then it was then that I realized, I had this skill set. I could bring people together. I could fill up nightclubs of 500 people, 1,000 people, 20,000 people. Like there was something here. How can I take that to a whole nother vertical? And to then I created my own community. I think we have over 100,000 people like in my various communities, which is still mind blowing to say. And now I help other 6, 7, and 8 figure business earners do the same, build their communities so that they can create, an impact and create sales at the same time.
Right. This is so inspiring and amazing journey that you went on. But let's get even uh, before everything that all happened. How was your childhood look like, and what was your
Yeah.
belief about success and money at that time?
Yeah, absolutely. So, my childhood, I mean, my parents divorced when I was 2 years old. Okay. So, I was living two separate lives my entire childhood.
Hmm.
Spending, a week with mom, then spending a week with dad, and spending a
Hmm.
week with mom, and spending a week with dad. And, I'll share with your audience. I had like two separate worlds that I was living, but I felt such a lack of love and
Hmm.
support.
Yeah.
I'm sure, man, you can feel with this, you can attest to this, but like it's rough. It was so rough. And my entire childhood, from when I was a kid, my elementary years to middle school to high school, all the way up into college, I um I felt like I was not deserving of love.
Hmm. Hmm.
And anytime I even had a friend group, I would be bouncing from friend group to friend group to friend group to friend group. So maybe on the surface level, it looked like I had a lot of friends, but on the inside, man, um, I didn't have a true friend, and I didn't have a true place to call home, even. And it was a very, very difficult time, which led to me finding what I was missing inside community, and that's really led to um, my love and passion for helping other people create community as well.
Hmm. Yeah, this is so powerful because I can really pretty much relate to this type of um, scenario that you like that you've been growing up.
Yeah.
Because, like, to be honest, and I had never shared that with anybody basically here on the podcast. I also like literally I never heard, for example, from my parents they love me or so. So it was pretty. It's really tough, and
It's heavy.
yeah,
It's heavy and it's real.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and even and I guess that's what led to me wanting to be a part of this nightclub scene
Hmm.
because I grew up just not having that support system, that love, that community, and something that was familiar. And I found that in the nightclub scene. Now, some of
Hmm.
your listeners might be saying, "Oh, you probably love the nightclub because the drinks and the drugs and the girls and the music and the whatever." No, man. Like I'm sober. I'm sober. Like I found a whole family
Hmm.
in that community of people
Hmm.
coming together. Yes, the music is awesome and the parties are awesome, but there's a whole nother level there, and that's what I needed most. That's what I
Hmm.
truly, at a soul, in my heart of hearts, what I needed,
Hmm.
and that's why I kind of gave my all to it. But when it comes to success, God, I was working for other people. I was working 70 to 80 hours a week. And I think I worked 70 to 80 hours for about 2 to 3 years,
Hmm.
and I got burnt out, and I was making money. It was
Hmm.
good,
Yep.
but I was doing it at, the expense of my health, my time, my peace, more than anything. And and I didn't want to work for anybody else. But let me tell you, when I started my own thing, it was hard in the beginning. Like it's freaking hard, man.
Yeah, totally.
And for the longest time, I went from not feeling like I deserve love to then not feeling like I deserve to serve.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Mm-hmm.
so stepping into the entrepreneurial world when I knew I was capable of, bringing people together, which, you talk to any business owner, any entrepreneur, they want more leads, they want to build more trust, they want to nurture those leads, and they want more sales, of course. So I was able to, create a skill set, but then the next stage or the next season of my life, I went from not deserving of love to not deserving to serve. And I had something that I knew was valuable, but when you're standing here next to 8-figure, 9-figure business owners, people who
Yeah.
have been doing it for, a decade longer than you, it's pretty easy to compare yourself and to think and internalize like who am I to be here? Like, do I even deserve to stand on this podium next to these guys who've made $100 million? Like who am I? Who would listen to me? And I kind of went through that as well for a very long time. And it took a lot of introspection. It took a lot of diving deep, doing the inner work to find out I am valuable. What I can bring to the table is valuable. And I think if I didn't do that internal work, who knows where I would be, what I would be doing. But I certainly would not have had a community of 100,000 people. I would not have helped businesses to make millions of dollars. And I wouldn't have the system I do now. So I'm eternally grateful that I bet on myself to do that.
Yeah, yeah, so good. You've been becoming that person to actually be able to do. So it's just beautiful to see what is possible when you keep going and keep pushing, even though you don't feel worthy of that. This is just amazing. Um, but tell me, what actually community mean for you?
You know, everybody creates a group, whether it's on Facebook or Discord or, school, go high level. Like people create groups because they've been told to do so, right? It's the same thing of, create a website and you'll have success. Create an Instagram account and you'll have success.
Yeah.
As we know, it doesn't work like that. Same thing. Like you don't just create a podcast and you have success, right? It takes love and care to build it and to nurture it, like anything,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
There's 50 million Facebook groups out there, and 90% of them are garbage because people who are admins, they're not running them like a true community. They're running them like as a group. They're running them one with the intention of making money. With There's nothing wrong with making money. Like I'm here to make money for sure, but they're not running the community in a way that is for the community. They're
Hmm.
running the community so it serves them and their needs, and that's not the way to run a community, right? In my eyes, there's a difference between lower C community as a group and uppercase C as this is us together. We are community. This is what we are creating. And when it comes to building a true community, not always are you the expert.
Hmm.
Not always are you at the top of the hierarchy, and that's okay because it's not about you. It's about everybody else. And a
Hmm.
community is an ecosystem where growth can transpire. And sometimes that's not always you leading the way. That's you allowing other people to become, just like you said.
Hmm. Hmm. So powerful. Love it so much. This is I can see like I'm part of a lot of groups, right? And you can really see when somebody like really cares about the people and running the community the right way. Um, the engagement is different. How those people react to you is completely different. It's supportive all the time, they trying to help every single time. Um, so I'm completely getting what is your point to this. So, but how did like having community change the way you are right now, like you are now?
It's definitely taught me a lot of patience,
Hmm.
a lot of empathy. Um, you know, I see the good in everybody,
Hmm.
and I see people where they're at. And by me creating community and teaching my own audience how to create community as well, it allows us to just love people unconditionally, truly unconditionally, altruistically, without anything in return. And it allows us to, live through love and kindness and respect other people. And I think that's what's missing most, especially now that AI is so prevalent and, people are creating artificial content, artificial videos. I mean, that's awesome. I use it all. But I think what we need most right now, more than anything, is that true connection.
Yep.
And creating community allows that to happen,
Mm-hmm.
right? It allows people to come together to support a greater mission that is so much greater than us.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like you can attest, Adam, what you're here to do, like you're here to get some clients, you're here to get some views, you're here to get some downloads, you're here to make some money. But I think we can agree you're here for something so much greater than yourself, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, community allows us to do that. It allows us to lift everybody up
Mm-hmm.
because a rising tide lifts all boats, and there's enough for all of us to rise. It's like the saying, there's room enough at the table for all of us to eat. Well, the table is huge. The table is massive. All of us can eat. Me eating takes nothing away from you, and you eating takes nothing away from me. There's room for all of us to thrive. And it's taught me ultimate abundance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you believe in God, actually?
Yes,
You Christian?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Believe in believe in source. I believe in the universe. It's so much greater than us, but we're connected.
Mm-hmm.
We're absolutely connected. Um, yeah,
It's
there
so
is a spiritual element to community as well.
yeah, yeah, so beautiful. I love it so much because yeah, I'm totally, it's I get to that point that when I see a business more as a type of relationship building, um, I don't know how to express this exactly, but there is a massive piece of building relationship with others, and people overlook that very often. And then this is basically most of the time why they're struggling so much because they are not willing to show up and being in front of others and being with like in front of others being with those people listening them and being able to like connect with other people and building this uh, amazing relationship with so many others um, but when it comes to when you've been actually like when you've been growing up and you've been what actually like success look like um in eyes of your parents that what you who should you become to be like kind of validated for them, you know what I mean?
Well, if I were to sit and think about that, and this is great because nobody's asked me that question, so I'm loving this, man. Um, So, well, let's take it back to when I was a kid.
Mhm.
I was in the Boy Scouts.
Mhm. Okay.
I have an eagle right here that represents I was an Eagle Scout. So, if you or any of your listeners were in the Scouts, it's very community driven. Like we
Yeah,
we were driven through community
very
service.
cool. I can see like you've been like since really young age you've been like always around like communities and this type of thing, so there has to be some type of pattern or something that actually like I don't know, it's just very interesting to me to see that uh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're always doing community service, whether we're helping
Yeah,
the elderly, we're helping the schools, we're giving back. It all stemmed from community since I
yeah,
was like 6 years old, man.
yeah, yeah.
It's crazy. There's patterns in it.
Mm-hmm.
To your question though, so my dad, he he was a bit of a dick, and I mean they divorced, and he was in the Scouts, but he never made it to Eagle Scout. So if
Mm-hmm.
you know Eagle Scouts, the top of the line.
Yep.
Um, when you're in the Boy Scouts, you're in the Scouts until you're 18 years old. When you're 18
Mm-hmm.
years old, you're no longer a kid. You're no longer a Boy Scout, but you're usually giving back, right? At a higher level.
Yep.
Well, my dad made it to 18 and he never made it to Eagle Scout. So it was very important for him to have me reach that just reach that level, reach
Mm-hmm.
that success. Now, most people reach Eagle Scout when they're 17 years old going into
Mm-hmm.
18. I reached Eagle Scout when I was 14 years old. And
Very
I don't
cool.
know if you know, but we joined Boy Scouts when we're 12.
Hmm.
So from 12 years old to 14 years old, that's a 2 year mark.
Hmm.
I made it all the way to Eagle Scout.
Hmm.
And you need 21 badges,
Hmm.
21 merit badges to become an Eagle Scout. I had 117.
Very cool. Wow.
So I had the most merit badges out of anyone in the city, maybe the state. And I was very accomplished, but it was all my dad pushing me to make that happen because that's what he was lacking.
Hmm.
So that was success. Success didn't look like, being a lawyer or being a doctor or anything. That wasn't in his eyes what success meant. Success meant I achieved what he always lacked.
Hmm.
And I have letters from, the president, from ex generals,
Hmm.
from celebrities and of all different types, of all, senators even. I
Hmm.
have letters written to me. Um, but that never meant anything to me.
Hmm.
I think it meant so much more to him. Me, I just liked helping people.
Hmm. Hmm. So you find yourself basically in building communities and like put bringing people together, um, and that's the superpower of yours. That's and it's so powerful, because as I mentioned, like business is pretty much like that is the like community element that is like in influencing the whole success in.
It's the infrastructure of
Yep.
any
Yep.
business. You need people, like, whether you want to call them leads or prospects or
Yep.
whatever terminology you guys want to give to your people. They're people. These
Hmm.
are people.
Yep.
And the beautiful thing about creating community is you're creating your own tribe of raving fans that will support you. They will support your mission. They will pay you money and they will hug you. I've literally had prospects turn into clients on sales calls, pay me $10,000, $20,000 and cry tears of joy, of
Hmm.
happiness, and literally hugging me through the screen because they're so happy in what I can help them achieve in their business and in their life. And I've created that connection
Hmm.
through community.
So what would you say? What is really important in building communities?
You got to realize it's people first.
Hmm.
It's people first. When you serve enough people, you can get anything you want.
Hmm.
If you want anything that you want, you have to help other people get what they want. And business, like, yes, you need sales, right? If you're not making sales in your business, you're not going to be in business too much longer, right?
Yep.
Well, sales is a byproduct of service.
Hmm.
And service is a byproduct of having conversations with strangers,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
strangers who have problems and are facing obstacles and struggles that we have a solution for. Now, if you think about it, who's paying you money for your business? Is it your friends? Is it your family members? Is your mom running your business?
Yep.
No. The people who are paying us money for our business to run are strangers, people that we don't even know. Strangers who have very real problems and obstacles and struggles, and we are connecting with them, building trust, and they pay us for us servicing them. And this could look like our programs, our masterminds, our events, our webinars and conversion events, any type of way that we help people to solve their problems.
Hmm.
That's how our business grows. And so I realized if I want my business to scale, I just got to serve and solve more people's problems. If I want to serve and solve more people's problems, then I just need to welcome more people in my community to serve. And
Hmm.
like it's the golden key to success. Create a community and you'll scale your business.
Hmm. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, this is awesome. I love it. This conversation is just a fire. Dude, you're just amazing. So when actually happened for you the moment that you realized that have you been actually working for corporate? Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
so I worked I it wasn't actually corporate. It was more just an event company, an event promotions company
Okay.
that would plan large scale events.
Hmm.
Um, that's where I worked coming out of college. I've worked with marketing agencies and, did internships, which were great, but um, it was all revolving around
Hmm.
event planning and promotions,
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
is where I come from in my background.
Hmm. And so when happened for you actually that you realized that you want to become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I wanted to stop working for other people,
Yep.
let me tell you, I would do events and like one-offs here and events here. And I remember even doing wine tastings for an event, and I would be making good money at the time coming out of college, 30 bucks an hour. Like 30 bucks an hour when you're 21 years old is pretty awesome. And while that was good, I realized that, oh, I'm making 30 bucks an hour, but they're making like 3 grand an hour.
Hmm.
How can I bridge this gap?
Hmm.
How can I do what they're doing and have little minions of my own?
Hmm.
And my minions of my own didn't just turn into employees, it actually turned into chatbots and systems and automations. And now I'm like, holy cow, I can make the big bucks while having systems and processes in place that can allow me to do that and run an actual business. So that's when I realized, okay, there's something else. But don't get me wrong, it wasn't just the tools and the systems that made this possible. It
Hmm.
was me, working for 6 years, 10 years, 15 years now of community building
Yep.
to realize, okay, just like you said, we were talking about the infrastructure, you need community. It was going through building community, planning events, hosting those events
Hmm.
that gave me the skill set that I could then take to another vertical of
Yep.
being an actual entrepreneur. So it all really blended together and my eyes opened wide that I realized, oh, I can do this in any vertical. And so, you know, to tell you, like some of my clients, they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're accountants, like a lot of business owners that you probably wouldn't expect to build communities of their own are
Hmm.
building communities of their
That's
own.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Wow. So you would basically you're saying that like pretty much every business needs a community, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. Very cool. So from your perspective, what is the difference between a like basically running a physical events or like group of like groups
Yeah.
or when you've been running those bringing people together in clubs, for example, and what is the difference in virtual events, for example, or
Yeah.
running virtual groups? How is it different? Is there any difference at all,
Oh
or is it?
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Let me just start off by saying, if you want to plan events, guys, virtual events, way easier. Way easier than planning in-person events because there's so many other logistics in place,
Mhm.
right? Now, when I used to do in-person events, I would like say in the nightclub, I would have my own guest list and I would fill myself, 200 people a night into this event. And again, we would have 500 people events, 1,000 people events, 27,000 people events, and so on. I could fill them, but we had a team. Now, virtual events, when you do webinars or master classes or seminars or summits or boot camps of any type, like these are all different ways that us as entrepreneurs, we can bring people together, we can teach them, we can help them shift beliefs, and then we can give them direction to go to the next step. Now, where the differences arise is, if you do an in-person event, whether it's like a fun event, people are having fun, and then they're looking to the next one, which is, a call to action. You're creating a pathway for people
Yep.
to take the next step, buy the ticket for the next event, buy the higher ticket, not just the $15 ticket, but the $100 ticket, not just the $100 ticket, but the $300 ticket, right? So
Yep.
there's always a next step as well as seminars, right? You always have a call to action at the end. But now when it comes to virtual events, you can do it in the comfort of your home. You can do this right here on the computer. We
Yep.
could turn this into an event. The cool thing is, and I did this for one of our events last year, is I created a workbook to
Mhm.
accompany, a 3-day challenge that we did for
Mhm.
my community. And guess what? It was called Leverage Your Community. It's all about
Mhm.
leveraging your community.
Yep.
And I created this, like 55-page workbook that gave people homework that we could do together.
Mhm.
Um, and you know what? I actually feel really good about this. Like I love this most because, everybody that attended my event, we got to do this together. They still have these. Like every one of my students printed this out, bound it, and they still have it, and they use this in their business, in their community building to this day. And so it was great as a teacher as a host, that I could host something where people could come together, they could gain value, I could shift some of those limited beliefs into empowering beliefs, and then I can even give people the next step of direction of, okay, what's next? Do you
Hmm.
want to continue this journey together? Well, guess what? I actually have a program and I can work with you to continue this together to help you build your community, to help you scale in your business. And if we're talking about business, like I was doing okay before I was doing online webinars. Like I had $10,000 months. I saw my first couple $30,000 months, but I kind of like plateaued around 30,000. I did my first online conversion event, and 3 months later, I had my first $100,000
Mm.
month. And it wasn't even $100,000 in a month, it was $100,000 in a week. Now, some won't believe that, but it was all through building community, commanding and teaching your people, and giving them an opportunity to come together to learn. And the other end of that was my first $100,000 week.
So good. So good. So who you had to become to be able to be this type of person? Because you said that you had this vision of um running a virtual event and so on, and you jump from there to the virtual strategies basically, and or how is it how to explain this, probably like a yeah on the virtual side. So, because we know everybody knows that before you can do something like that or have this type of things, we have to become the person to be able to do so. So, what did you had to like unlearn or learn to actually become that person to be able to to lead that?
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said earlier, I used to have this limiting belief, and it was just a false belief that I wasn't deserving of love and I wasn't deserving to serve. Now, once I overcame those, um, then everything just like it was a golden light just opened up and the entire pathway was shown. I had to step into being the leader and owning it. And let me tell you, you know, people talk about affirmations. I say affirmations, but they're true. They're so true. For the past, 3, 4 years, every single day, I've said the exact same things every single day to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is I deserve to serve. I
Mm-hmm.
deserve to serve. I am supported by those around me. My clients love working with me. I'm impacting the world. I am my best self, and when I have my best days, my clients have their best days. Like I own these.
Mm-hmm.
And it all starts with I deserve to serve. And
Mm-hmm.
I to this day I tell myself this, but I had to remind myself. And I had to tell myself this even if I didn't believe it. And let me tell you, I did not believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I did not believe that I was deserving of this. I believe I did not deserve of money. I come from a scarcity mindset, that was bestowed on me from
Yeah.
even my mom, trying to hoard pennies and hold every cent. And
Yeah.
that's not a good place to be, especially if you want to live abundantly. And I used to think that, money was bad. And it was such a false belief, a false narrative. And so it took me telling myself
Mm-hmm.
that money is good. Man, I remember I was on my very first interview. I recall my very first interview when I started this entrepreneurship
Yeah.
journey, and I got asked on the interview, what do you do and why do you do it and everything. And I was talking about what I do and why I love it. And then he was telling me, okay, so do you make money doing this? And I told him, no,
Mm-hmm.
I don't make money. I don't want money. I don't want people to pay me. And I distinctively remember saying this, and he pushed back. Way more successful guy than me. He knew way more than I did at the time, still. But he told me, I didn't know this at the time, but he was pushing me to understand that money was okay to receive.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I started this entrepreneurial journey, remember I told you I did this for the community, for the impact. I
Yeah.
didn't do it for the money. I didn't do this to start a business.
Mm-hmm.
I did it because I wanted to help people and I wanted to show people what's possible, that they could create a place of love and support and peace. And I distinctively remember that I said this and I truly believed it in my soul that I didn't want money. And the more I said that, I thought I was living, virtuously. I don't need money
Mm-hmm.
to survive. Like, for one, we don't need money. Like, we don't need money, but we do need money if we want to make a greater impact in the world. And it took me removing, just demolishing that old false belief and embracing an abundant belief of I deserve to serve. money is abundant, money flows through me. And it was then that I've recently adopted, you know, the money that I make allows me to make a greater impact. So it
Mhm.
allows me to serve my older self in the
Yeah.
need for impact while still serving the business.
Mhm.
And that's who I had to become if I wanted to achieve the results that I'm helping other people achieve today.
How that changed the way you are living right now?
I mean, I looked at my bank account this morning and I was in awe. I can't remember the last time I had that many zeros in my account. Um, and I'm doing such wonderful things. I have a team, my mod squad for my Grub and Chill community. We have about 20 of us,
Mhm.
and they're incredible people, absolutely incredible. They're family. And a lot of them have been working together for 2 3 years, never met because they're all over the country. Just recently I was able to treat them all. I like to treat them all to an in-person dinner sometimes, so we got everybody together that's in the state of Washington state. And they didn't know, but we were able to bring the other people from the other states to
Yeah.
come. And let me just tell you, the look, the jaw drop, the tears coming from people's faces when everybody was in the room, and then through the doors come the other members of our mod squad that they've been working together for years, never met in person. And these people, like, they're living on social security, some of them. And I was able to fly them up here, take care of their hotel stay, and bring them to this dinner that we just had recently. And I'm only able to do that once, overcoming my limiting beliefs around money, around what's possible, betting on myself to be the best damn entrepreneur that I can be. And it's allowing me to bring money in that I'm able to give and help other people. And that's the best. It's the absolute best place to be.
Oh, so oh my God, so this is so powerful, dude. I love it so much. You are just a such a great person. I love it so much, and I see how you know how much mean like a family to you because those people probably for you are like a family. It's so powerful to see that. Um, I want to ask you what impact mean for you?
I love to ask this question to my own members in my community, so I'm really glad you're asking me. Um, Let me tell you, impact, it happens through the ripples that we don't always see, we don't always think about, but they happen. It's
Mhm.
through the connection, through the conversation, the
Yeah.
one-to-one, the hugs, the have a good day, the I'm grateful for you, the small moments where you can light somebody else up, and then they take that energy and it flows with them. And this is the rippling that happens when they have another conversation with another person, and that person has another conversation with another person, and that person has another conversation with another person, and that allows them to have the best day ever in their life, in their business, in their relationships.
Ooh.
And this is the ripple effect of impact, and it's never ending, and it starts with us on an individual level. And that's true impact. It really is the greatest thing. And it doesn't take a lot. It just takes one small moment of showing appreciation and gratitude to another person. And they could be in a sour mood or upset or angry or frustrated. But let me tell you, it is physically impossible for us to be angry and express gratitude at the same time. So it's the greatest gift, and it's free, and we can share it with everybody we meet.
Yeah, yeah, so powerful. Love it so much. You are such a amazing person, dude. Um, just incredible what you've
Thank
accomplished
you.
and where you're going. This is just insane. I love it so much. Um, just a backfire question. I would love to hear how did you overcome because most of like entrepreneurs sometimes they don't know where to stop. They're just going and going and going. And you said that you burn out also. I did also a few years ago. And then I just got back into it slowly, but I took a uh, I took a coaching program, um, and that helped me to streamline the process, right? So it's like for me, it was really like the breaking moment for me to actually start seeing the business in the correct way and how I supposed to go and what I supposed to do to move the needle in my favor, right? But how did you overcome the the burnout moment?
You know, I was looking at my memories, which sometimes is not a good idea, but I was looking at my memories on Facebook and I saw a post that I made, almost a decade ago. And it was me leaving my second job, going to my third job.
Hmm.
Now, when I say second job to third job, I don't mean I worked my second job that day. Like that was my day for my second job. No. When I worked, I went to job A, then I left, slept for an hour, went to job B, left, slept for 2 hours, went to job C. I worked three or more jobs in a single day. And I saw this memory, and it was me living in that self-proclaimed, hustle mentality and being proud of myself. Yes, I left job number two on my way to job number three. And there were some days where I would work 40 hours straight.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the right thing to do. You
Yeah.
know, work harder, be more successful. Work more hours, be more successful, right? And I worked more hours in a day than there's even in a day.
Hmm.
And uh and I remember, and I looked at the timestamp, and the timestamp said like 6 a.m. So I left job two at 6 a.m. to go to job three. See what I'm saying? At 6 a.m. And that was burnout, man. Like that was freaking burnout. Um, what did I do then? I like physically I was sore. Like truly, man, you can only imagine. But it it's not sustainable.
Hmm.
No. Um I had no problem with it. Like I'm a go-getter, right?
Hmm.
I'm an action
Yeah.
taker and I will do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
But it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I wanted. Um I'm trying to remember the actual breaking point. I remember I took time off, and I think I took a week off, and then the boss like got mad at me for it. And I'm
Hmm.
like, dude, I literally just worked 40 hours for you this week and it's Wednesday, and I need time off. And um and I think that's like they got angry about it, and I guess that was me giving myself permission, like, okay, well, this ain't working for the both of us, so I'm done. And I remember I went to Vegas for a couple days and decompress. And
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
Las Vegas, man, there's nothing like Las Vegas to
Yeah.
me. Whether it's a breakup with your boss or a breakup with your girlfriend, like Las Vegas will treat you right. Um, but I think it was doing that I was able to, free myself and, set the pace for what I wanted to do. And I'll actually tell you what led to that entrepreneurship. And it was a Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins event.
Hmm.
It was like in 2018, I want to say,
Hmm.
that I watched this. It was maybe a 3 hour session. Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi doing the Knowledge Broker Blueprint at the
Right.
time. And that gave me permission to go all in on me,
Hmm.
because I learned at that day that if I had something that was valuable, which I
Hmm.
knew I
Hmm.
did deep down inside, if I knew something that I had was valuable that could help other people, then I could make money. I could make a business off of that. And then the very next thought, because it all comes back to impact, if I realized and I adopted a new saying that if I have something that can help other people and I don't do anything and everything in my power to make sure they get it, I'm doing them a disservice.
Hmm.
And then I'm also doing a disservice to all the people that they could serve
Yeah.
if they had it. And it was then that I bet all in. I went all in on myself. Much like yourself, you invested in a mentor. I invested in a course by Tony and Dean. And let me tell you, I went through that course 3 times. I went through it three freaking times because I wasn't a business owner and I had no intentions of starting a business until I realized what's possible.
Hmm.
And here I am. We just had the best month this past month that we've had all year. And one of my clients, he just had a $19,000 day yesterday. And it's such a great place to be, man.
So awesome. I love it so much. What is your vision actually into the future? Where are you heading?
Where am I heading? You know, I want to help other people do what I've created. I've created systems, and of course there's everybody, who's dabbling in AI and everything. I've been doing systems from before ChatGPT was even a thing. And I've created these systems that build community, build a loyal fan base, and they're even profitable. And I just want to get this system out to as many people as I can. I want to get it out to the Dean Graziosis. I want to get it to the Russell Brunsons. I want to get it out to the Lewis Howes, and maybe even your listeners. They want to bring in more, people into their community. They want to have a system that can nurture your leads and even help you with conversions. Like maybe you or your people need it. I just want to get the system out to the world. And yes, the money's great, but I want everybody to have the community they've ever dreamed of.
So cool, so cool. Well, thank you so much for being here. It was just my
Man, thank you for
pleasure.
having me. This was
It
a
was,
lot of fun.
it was
This was
fun.
a lot of fun, and I appreciate you for all the questions you're asking because this
Thank
was a great conversation. So
Thank you
thank you.
so much. I will love it. It was just super powerful. Well, before I let you go, I will have a last question for you. If this would be your last conversation or last interview you would ever done, what would be the message you would like to leave behind you?
Oh my God. For other people to hear. Oh man, I hope this isn't the last conversation. Um, I I just want to let you know that you are loved and you can do it, and there's nothing holding you back.
So good, so good. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for being here. And where people can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to connect with me, whether it's joining my community or maybe you want to work with me, I have different programs under Evolve Omega where I can teach you what I'm doing. You can do it yourself, or I can work with you and help you implement it. And it's a system and it's absolutely wonderful for your community. Um, you can reach me on Facebook, just Danno Hanfling. And I know there's a lot of fake pages that come up pretty frequently, but I'll make sure to give Adam the correct link that you can join. And then we have a Facebook group called the Greater Impact Community because it's all about impact and it always ever will be. So if you want to connect, you can do that. I also have, maybe I can give your guys a gift. Yeah, I can give your guys a gift. Maybe if you
Ooh,
message my business page, which will give you the link in the chat. It's just Danno Hanfling, and you can message a certain keyword. Adam, what is the mission behind your podcast? Let's ask you that.
I would say freedom.
Freedom. Freedom. How about this? I'm going to set this chatbot system up for you guys. DM me freedom to my business page. We'll put it in the chat. And when you DM me hashtag freedom, then I'll give you something special. And I'll even possibly jump on a call with you to see how I can help you create your ideal community of impact. How does that sound, Adam?
Awesome. Love it so much. Super cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your greatness and for everybody's listening. If this stirs something in you, don't ignore it. Share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe, leave a review, and remember, you weren't born to follow the script. You weren't born to be free. Bye, everybody.